We are in a place right now in the NBA, maybe just sports in general, where narratives kind of control everything. If you have a big enough platform, if you're loud enough, people will listen 9 times out of 10. And that's exactly what is happening with the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award race. That is exactly what we are seeing. In a post Wembanyama injury spot, it's down to Draymond Green and Evan Mobley. And unfortunately, Draymond Green is getting a lot of praise. And look, I am not taking anything away from the season that Draymond Green has had, especially as of late, after the acquisition of Jimmy Butler, that has seen them gone from the 11 seeded team in the West to being in the top 6. The impact that he brings out there on a night to night basis is phenomenal. I will not take that away from him. He has been that good of a defensive player. Just really, he might be the best defensive player of his era. I have no problem admitting that. I have no problem saying that. He is at the forefront from a defensive standpoint of what the Golden State Warriors did for so long on that end of the court, manning the defense. And he won a Defensive Player of the Year award one time because of it during the 2016-17 season. It was really deserved. And you could argue that he deserved at least one, maybe even two more awards in that same span of time since then. That said, I worry that we have gotten to a place right now where we are just simply awarding this man because he is in the twilight of his NBA career in many aspects, and he's loud. He's a very, very vocal brother, and I understand that. I understand the need to go out there and campaign for yourself, because nobody's going to advocate for you like you. Nobody. You got people, and hell, I'm sitting up here doing it for Evan Mobley right now, but nobody is going to advocate for you like you can. Nobody can advocate on your behalf like you are capable of doing. And Draymond Green, the one thing that we have come to know about him throughout his tenure in the NBA is that he is a loud talker, and he has a large platform. He is one of the best defensive players in NBA history, and he's up there. I'm just going to say it that way. He might be the best one of his era, and he is one of the best of all time. But in saying that, that does not necessarily mean that he has been the best all season long this season. He has made a push for it. He has been very, very vocal about the push that he has made for that. But again, I worry that we are simply just rewarding him for being so vocal about the work that he has put in. And again, on paper, if you're looking at the stat sheet, if you're looking at the box scores and some of the advanced metrics and stats, he has a real credible argument for winning that award. I am not taking that away from him. However, is it just a mid-season award, or is it an entire season award? We all know, let's not mince words here. We know that Victor Wembanyama was the runaway leader for this award, even entering this season. And prior to his injury, he was well on his way to securing that. He was going to win it no matter what anybody else did. He was just that far ahead of everybody else out there. And I have no problem saying that. But when Wemby went down, it turned into a two-man race between Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley. And Mobley was winning that. And then out of nowhere, after the acquisition of Jimmy Butler, who is rightfully, you want to lump any type of credit, give Jimmy Butler the credit for a lot of what they have been able to do in that turnaround since he was acquired over there in Golden State. He deserves a ton of credit himself. Draymond Green has obviously upped the intensity. He has been very vocal about wanting that award. The quote that really sticks in my mind is that he said he wants another one, right? Especially with Wemby going down. It seemed like he had one. Now it's right there. Those are Draymond Green's words. 1,000,000% I have a case, and I will continue to build that case. Again, those are Draymond's words. He wants that award. I just watched his most recent stream, and he doubled down on that.
On the defensive side, I'm talking about showing up like a defensive player of the year is supposed to show up to win your second defensive player of the year. Like, talk about that. Like, how is that motivating you especially these last 20 games, right? The last month and a half is just, you stepped it up a notch, right? A couple notches. Talk about defensive player of the year and what that means to you and how that motivates you.
To have the opportunity to just put my name in the hat to compete for is everything. It's extremely motivating. These opportunities don't come around all the time. And I think, I felt like all year I was having a first team all defense caliber type of year all year anyway. I think our defense, regardless of what's happened this season, throughout the different parts of the season, I think the one thing that was constant was our defense was good. We've had a top 10 defense all year.
Yeah.
And with Jimmy coming in, our defense has gotten even better. Our defense has actually been number one defense in the league, number one, number two defense in the league since Jimmy been here. So with that being said, to have to know that, like, I can really make a push for this thing, it's been extremely motivating. Just going into these games, having that added factor of like, I really want to accomplish this. Like, I need to lock in and focus on what the task is at hand, and so it's motivated the hell out of me.
He wants that award. That award is motivating him, and I cannot blame him. This may be his best last opportunity to accomplish such a feat, and it would be historic. Certainly would be a good story, but I just do not believe that he is nearly as deserving as Evan Mobley. And there are a lot of good candidates this year, whether it be Lou Dort or Dyson Daniels or Ivica Zubac. You can throw SGA in there. There are others. Amin Thompson. The list goes on and on. This has been a phenomenal season if you like defense. There have been a ton of players that have put on big-time shows this year. A lot of really, really exceptional things have been done. Evan Mobley's right up there. To me, I just don't see the argument behind why Green deserves it more. Again, from a statistical standpoint, both of them have things painting them in a good light. When you look at pure defensive field goal percentage, Green technically leads in that category at 43.2%. That is what he has limited his opponents to, and that is coming on 919 DFGAs, defensive field goal attempts. Mobley has a defensive field goal percentage, conversely, of 44.2%. But here's the kicker. Mobley has defended over 267 more field goals. And to be, a 0.1% higher, to me, that's way more impressive than what Green has been able to do in terms of the matchup data. To me, maybe more impressively, is that Mobley has limited his matchups to 32.7% from three-point range, and Green has limited his to 35.7%. The volume is basically the same, 346 DFGAs to Green's 364. The volume is inconsequential in that, with that type of difference in terms of the defensive field goal percentage. Mobley has been better.